Hello YouTube, my name is Jack and I'm the creator of Curious Culture, and today I'd like to talk about life as an INTP personality type and some observations as this type. So over the last few years in my life, I've found spiritual healing practices that have significantly shifted a lot of negativity. I found holographic kinetics and I received quite a few past life healing sessions where I saw trauma either done to me or myself, who I was in the past life, done to others, and the cycle continued where harm created more harm. And so holographic kinetics is a deep form of healing, and that's what I asked for, I feel like, because it must have, like, I'm 30 now, almost 31. And when I was around 22, I just remember setting the intention. I was like, I want to find something really deep. And maybe I'll find more, like beyond where I am now, because I'm actually going to a kinesiology workshop in a few months that's mixed with spiritual healing and that. And I think it may even be an advancement of what I know now. But basically with holographic kinetics, it was super interesting, and it was because I had the business card from the shaman, and one day I looked at the card and I knew that it was the right thing to do. Like, something in me just knew it was right. And what I would like to call that thing, let me just adjust the camera a little bit, just don't look up as much. So the thing that where we know what is right for us is your spirit. And a simple way to practice this is asking the simple question, may I connect to my spirit? And so with my spirit and through the guidance with my holographics kinetics healer, I shifted so many layers of things, and life these days is so much more peaceful and calm. I'd like to bring this up because in today's world, there is a huge epidemic, or similar word, to describe the psychology industry. In the psychology industry, while I think it's great in many ways, there tends to be a pattern where a lot of psychologists are struggling with the load and stress of managing clients. Now, with talk therapy, it's the dynamics of the surface level patterns of the mind and what we know with our conscious mind in our lives. But what I found with holographic kinetics and similar healing is that it goes further into the subconscious mind and looking into either traumas that are stuck in this current life, which are energetically stuck, or trauma in the past life, in a past life. And in my own experience, past lives can go back hundreds. There can be hundreds of past lives, maybe 1,000. So it's been a very interesting journey, and I think it's very fortunate that I found that. And what makes growing and healing as a person interesting in itself is that if the universe serves you those experiences that give you substantially a much larger amount of peace and happiness in your life, then imagine what else you can discover. Years ago, when I was caught up in all those negative patterns, I'd habitually listen to dark music, and I didn't realise that that I was actually not the negative patterns. And so I wanted in that negative state to be a negative person. And I felt validated as the victim in circumstances, etc. And this is a part of growing and maturation, and it's one of the phases that we go through as people, and it's very common. So it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just that it seems like a natural progression and of super importance to start to find awareness around the negativity. Like, I remember I started yoga, and then the teacher said, I realised that in her meditation, she realised that in her meditation retreat that she went to, that she's not the negativity. Because I was so accustomed to negativity, I heard that and I was like, oh, what? Like, because I thought I was that negative identity, negative patterns. And it's just, that's what they are, they're patterns. They're not your core self, they're not your spirit. So with holographic kinetics and indigenous healing and other healing modalities, it's about coming back to and discovering that authenticity and realizing that when you go into a healing, it's like, okay, I'm going to come back to that core neutral space where I'm willing to let go of what no longer serves me. And this is an ongoing process. As the large boulders move, it can be a effort to come back to awareness of how smaller patterns come up in your life. So we all, a big common ego tendency is to assume that the problem is external, and it is sometimes, but our reaction to things and learning about how to reduce and master our reaction to things is how we can be so much freer from situations and locked in negative perceptions than we realise. So we must always be responsible and come back to our inner awareness. And I encourage, having times in your week where you cultivate stillness and you sit with your thoughts, you write them down, you become curious about your experience. Like, I wonder where this came from. It's not just being an INTP, but I think other INTPs out there can relate that life as an INTP is interesting, and we're examiners. And when it becomes inward through examining your own experience and understanding yourself and your patterns, it's proven to me to be a freeing experience and an important foundation for life. Because yes, we may not rush into all the external action that a lot of people do, but as an INTP, we can become very curious about our inner experience and learning how to create that peacefulness. And I strongly believe that while it's important to take the action and learn through experience and mistakes, there's also time to slow down and reflect and become still, so then the clarity can be there that wouldn't be there if you're always busy and flustered. If we have too much complexity, what we really need is simplicity. And this creates relief and reassurance in your life, because it's like, well, if things get too complex, it's like, cool, I know it's simplicity I need. Don't need to keep pushing and making things harder. And that's okay. And that's living intuitively, which is my next point. Because what I love about law of attraction and understanding this universe and the magic of it, and is that it there's times where it's intuitive to push and force and put a lot of effort into things and achieve. But if that's not flowing how it's like how it feels like it should be, then it's intuitive to take more time to relax and recalibrate and do things from a better lens and a fresh energy. Um, because when we calm ourselves and become closer to our own spirit and get that intuitiveness about decisions in our life, then that is a huge way to stop the bad patterns of creating heaps of stress and thinking, I need to control everything all the time. Like, life seems so much more simple once you create more inner peace. And look, I still struggle with certain thoughts that bug me, and but I do want to reiterate that it's not just like spiritual healing and like the deeper layers. Sometimes I go on ChatGPT and I get counselling on a situation that's been bothering me in my mind. And through reading the right information and getting the right perspective, I can feel the weight lifted. So I'm saying also in this video that the psychology counselling, like all that, can be just the right thing at times. But I just wanted to share though that there's also been a great sense of shift from negative states from those deeper practices as well. So they're both great. I'd just like to say that if you're looking for something deeper, that could be something that's for you. I also do Reiki, and my brother received it and he said he felt a lot better from it. And it's about like trusting that positive thoughts and energy and all that just has so much power. And I just had some experiences where I had that conviction that our positive thoughts and feelings and that have a such a bigger impact in our lives than we realise. So it's like super important to keep your thoughts and energy positive. And yeah, I really hope you've gained something positive from this video, and I wish you a remarkable day. Thank you.